What's going on? This is Cam Kirk, and this is a behind the cam moment of my first exhibit in Atlanta, Georgia, the Trap God exhibit. So like around 2015, I remember this was a pivotal year for me. I think I can honestly say it was probably the year that I changed course in my career. It's a year that I really call it like a year of enlightenment for me. I started the year 2015 on tour with Travis Scott, Young Thug, Metro Boomin. I was on a rodeo tour. I was a photographer, videographer for Travis Scott and Metro Boomin. And I remember, traveling the world that year, just going state to state, and it really opened my eyes up to just like the power and the impact of the work that we had been doing in Atlanta previously. I remember one night in particular just walking on stage before the show started, and people in the crowd were like yelling my name, and that just bugged me out because I think I was in like Colorado or something, and it was just like, why do people in Colorado know who I am? Like, it was crazy. And this is kind of like before Instagram really became kind of what it is today. So that was kind of crazy to me. But when I got off the tour, I remember coming home to just my friends, and I was just like, yo, I gotta make a change. Like, there's people out there that kind of know me and know my work, but I want to get that feeling again. And I think it's time that now I shift my career to put myself as the focal point versus just being content with being an artist's cameraman. I felt like this is the time I gotta show people who I am and what I actually bring to the table. 2015 also was the year that there was a lot of rumbling, a lot of talk that Gucci was gonna be coming home soon. And I remember running into Coach K, and he was kind of telling me like, yo, it's about that time, it's almost that time. And I would run into other different people in the camp, and they were kind of telling me like, yo, he's coming home soon, it's about that time. And I remember I had all of these unreleased photos from Gucci, all these photos that I had never put out before. And I was sitting on them because I just was like, they meant so much to me, they had so much value to me, because I knew, one, no one else had access to him during the years and during the time that I did. So they were like one-of-a-kind photos. But two, I just felt like the photos that I had of him just kind of showed a side of Gucci that I really wanted the world to see, but I wasn't really sure when they would actually appreciate it and accept it. Because if you remember, just being honest, like, it was kind of dark times for Gucci before he went to prison. Like, I don't think that the icon of Gucci being such a legend really, really kicked off almost until he was in prison. Before he was in prison, people were kind of downplaying my bro. Like, he had to really come home and show them like, what it was all about. But at the beginning, they were kind of downplaying him. So I really wanted to just hold the photos for the right moment to truly honor him and honor his legacy. But with all the rumbling going on and he was coming out soon, one thing I did know was there would be so much attention on him when he got home that so many people would take new photos of him, and these photos could probably lose value if I don't do something with them soon. So it was like around that year, I started to just tease a few photos online on my Instagram. Just never before seen photos, and I would just put one out at a time, and they would always get so much attention, and they were kind of going viral every time. So I was like, okay, there's some real value in the content I had here. And I remember, I'll never forget, Gucci called me one day from jail. I was actually in a barbershop getting my hair cut. He called me and he was like, man, I didn't even know you took some of the photos that you took of me. Like, I had sent him some while he was in prison. He was like, I didn't even know you took these photos until I saw them, that you sent them to me. And he was like, man, you really captured some moments of my life that I didn't even realize were captured. Like, I would love for you to just do what you can and keep the shit going. I want to use some of these for little singles, album cover, or put some on my Instagram just to keep the legacy going. And I'll never forget that phone call, and I always felt a sense of responsibility to actually try to do something, with the work while he was kind of locked up. So when I heard he was coming out, that's when the idea of putting together an exhibit, based around the photos kind of really came to me. And I'll be honest, at the beginning, I was thinking real simple. I was thinking pretty simplistic. So my original vision was, I'm gonna rent an art gallery. I'm gonna print the photos up. I'm gonna put them on the wall. And, it's gonna be, a Gucci Man exhibit, never before seen photos of Gucci. And I'll never forget, I was at Chipotle. I was at Chipotle with a good friend of mine, his name's Dez. And I was telling him about the idea. I was like, I got this idea. I'm gonna do a little Gucci exhibit. And, I'm gonna put the photos on the wall. I'm gonna XYZ. And I remember him just kind of nodding his head. But he ain't really give me no excitement. And I remember just talking it out, and just in real time, I was like, and I'm gonna add a stove in the spot. I'm gonna add like some trap elements to the spot. And I'm gonna add like a little stove. And I remember he perked up a little bit. He's like, okay. And then I just was kind of like, building more. I was like, nah, forget that. I'm gonna do it at a trap house. And I remember his eyes just like went back in his head, and he was just like, what? That'd be crazy. So I was like, from there, I was just like, nah, we gotta do it that way. I gotta find somebody that has an actual trap house, or a house that resembles a trap house, let me say that. The burglar bar doors, I need all of that. And I needed to be in Zone 6. I needed to be in East Atlanta. And I'm gonna transform the rooms to be, where Gucci would be at, or an exhibit in there, and I'm gonna let people come through. And I remember just geeking about the idea, and I was like, this is gonna be crazy. And as soon as I thought about it, a friend of mine, Man Savage, he had came to mind, because I was like, I went to his house and I shot a music video over there, and he had a trap house looking house in East Atlanta. It was actually on the same street as Brick Factory Studio, where Gucci used to record and where I took a lot of these photos at. I was like, man, I wonder if I throw him some money, will he let me throw a house party at his crib, for the exhibit. And I remember I called him and I was like, remember that crib we shot at? You think I could use the crib for an exhibit? And he was kind of like, for an exhibit? And I was like, yeah, like I want to do something, honoring Gucci. I want to do it at the spot. And he was like, shit, cool, throw me some bread. It is what it is. So I remember I had the game plan. I found a trap house. I had the idea. So I'm preparing the announcement. I'm telling people about it. I'm geeked. I'm excited about it. I think I had my flyer made and everything. And I remember that week, it probably was a day or two before I was meant to put this on Instagram. I turned on the news, and that same exact house I was supposed to use got raided by the police. Like, destroyed the house. I think it was like a misunderstanding or something, but completely destroyed the house that I was supposed to use. And I remember just being crushed. Like, I can't go back to a regular gallery. I gotta figure this out. Like, I can't just go do an art gallery anymore. Like, I was set on this idea. And I'll never forget, I called Man. I was like, yo, bro, like, what I'm supposed to do. And I give him a lot of props. He was very positive about it. He's like, man, my bad, like, I don't know. He was like, but my man's, the guy that owns that crib or has that crib, got another little spot down the road. I mean, it's like an abandoned church. I don't know if that shit gonna work for you, but you can come check it out. It's still in East Atlanta. And I'll never forget, I was really like closed-minded to it. I was like, a church? Like, this don't even make sense. What am I going, like, I was like, I'll go check it out, but it don't make sense. It ain't the vision that I had. And I remember I went to the spot, and in the spot, when you walk in, it's like a big spot, but it's like divided in half. So like half of the spot to the left is literally like, it looks like an old church. There's like church pews in there. There's like an altar. There's like a piano in there. There's a prayer room in the back. But then if you come in the crib and you go to the right, it looks like a trap house. It's like old kitchen. It's like a bedroom in there. It's like burglar bar doors. It's like a security camera in there just looking at the outside of the building. So at first I was just like, this is crazy, but I don't really see the vision. Like, it isn't really what I had in mind. It wasn't like a bunch of different rooms. It was really just kind of like 2 rooms. And I'll never forget, I was walking out, I was kind of discouraged. I was like, man, I just don't see it. And I'll never forget, Man was at the step, and he was like, you don't get it? Like, damn, like, it's the church, the trap God. It's the church. Trap God. And I was kind of like, damn, that's fire.